Landscapes of Enderal, Goldenforst, Guide by the Golden Sickle for travellers and traders. Goldenforst is a sprawling mountain forest located east of Ark and the Farmer's Coast. It consists of a northern and southern valley connected by a canyon. The region owes its name to the unique foliage growing there. The trees and shrubs carry golden and auburn autumnal leaves all year long. This type of vegetation is not found in any other area in Enderal, and the cause of this extraordinary colour palette has yet to be discovered. There is some ongoing debate between scholars as to whether to consider the northeastern strip off the Farmer's Coast part of the Goldenforst region due to it, despite being geographically separated by a mountain range displaying similar flora. As was already discussed in the first volume of the Landscapes of Enderal series, which focused on the Farmer's Coast, the Goldenforst region is accessible on foot from the Farmer's Coast in the west via the Autumn Pass. Past Fortress Ark's Last Watch. From there, one can find Wellwatch Valley to the south. Alternatively, one can traverse the Icy King's Mountain Pass northeast of Ark, or approach from the south through the Powder Desert. Both these routes will take you straight to Wellwatch Valley. The Golden Sickle stresses that the entire Goldenforst region should be considered hostile and is not recommended for travellers, and Wellwatch Valley is no exception. The known list of dangers lurking here may well be inconclusive, but sightings of Vatirs, lost ones and pathless ones, who have taken up refuge in this desolate area, have been reported, as well as the presence of other unknown monstrosities. Despite this, brave Myriad riders continue to operate the Wellwatch Myriad Tower under Malthus's watchful eye, so the region can still be visited by Myriad as well. Wellwatch Valley is higher situated than Goldenforst's other valley. Most notable about this area is the river, which originates from a rocky crevice and carves its way through the landscape around the mountain range to eventually flow into the Lake of Ark at Bridgehead Farm. In earlier times the river had a name, but nowadays the old name has been lost and opinions differ on what it should be called, as it is of hardly any significance anymore. Probably the most common current moniker for the river is Thunderfrost. This phrase refers to the large amounts of ice and snow in the river transports from the mountains down to the valley by the end of winter, causing a great deal of noise in the process. Fortress Wellwatch and its cannon walls still stand in the valley as a testament to former times when the region was inhabited and ensured the safe transport of powder and other goods from the Powder Desert to Ark. It was mainly erected to protect against potential threats from the desert, but after the disaster of the Sunfire at Thalgard, Fortress Wellwatch became an essential safeguard against danger from the east as well. Although the fortress itself is a modest size, it possesses one of the highest towers in Enderal to this day. Remarkable is also the bold stone overhang of the old quarry on the other side of the river. The mountainsides are streaked with the legacy of the settlers who followed Dalmarak here. The eastern road from the Wellwatch Myriad Tower leads to Thalgard, but even the most hardened adventurer would be wise to never set foot there. Unlike for Goldenforst, no accounts of travellers who have returned from this region exist. The brave who wish to continue to explore can follow a narrow path on the eastern riverbank going north. This will eventually take you past the old residence of the Dalmaraks, Fortress Goldenforst. It should come as no surprise that it has been long abandoned and can only be assumed to have turned into a dangerous place. The Dalmarak family crypt is located nearby as well. Both are roughly across Autumn Pass, so one can opt to leave the Goldenforst region at this point for the safer Farmer's Coast. It is also possible to journey even further north, all the way to Enderal's northern shore, by continuing to follow the path from Wellwatch. The coastal region is dubbed Fire Rock and features the ruins of a small old castle and a deserted lighthouse of the same name. There is no consensus about the origin of the name Fire Rock. Possibly it is a reference to the fiery hues of Goldenforst trees, which grow on the rocky coast here as well. Fire Rock's mountains enclose Goldenforst's second valley, in surviving records of the Dalmaraks referred to as Graves Path Sanctuary. According to these documents, Arcanist Dalmarak himself explored this secluded location via an elaborate system of caves and tunnels, an entrance of which was located not far from his ancestral home. If their descriptions are to be believed, Graves Path is an ancient and holy place that used to serve as a burial site for the Pyreans. Though the historical value of such a location is no doubt tremendous, caution is advised for those intent on following in Dalmarak's footsteps and making their way to the sanctuary. Even in the time of Dalmarak, Graves Pass supposedly possessed a strong magical aura. There is some speculation that it was here while Dalmarak found inspiration for his cursed invention of the Sunfire, dooming the entire Thalgard region to destruction. Landscapes of Enderal, the Powder Desert, a guide by the Golden Sickle for travellers and traders. The most inhospitable, yet simultaneously most thriving region of Enderal would have to be the Powder Desert. This large region spans across the most southeastern part of Enderal and shares borders with King's Mountain Pass, Goldenforst and Thalgard. It is named after the powder mines in the centre of the area. From their deep shafts, a powder is extracted that can be used to craft an explosive substance commonly utilised for cannons and demolition charges. First-time visitors might be deceived by the region's name, which, while apt for the hot sandy heart of the area, does not prepare for the variation seen in the landscape. The dry dunes interspersed with jagged rocks are certainly present, but the Powder Desert also harbours lush sections filled with palm trees and very thick undergrowth with tropical blossoms blooming all year round. Ships depart regularly for the desert from Ark's port. Travellers looking for an easy, safe form of transport can opt to arrange passage. More experienced adventurers, however, may prefer the available route on land. The quickest and least dangerous path can be accessed directly from the harbour in Ark and follows the southern coast. Note that least dangerous in no way means safe, and that the Golden Sickle only advises to undertake this journey if one is in the possession of an armed escort or is properly equipped and experienced in the art of combat themselves. The trail is unpaved and leads through an uninhabited part of Enderal, which naturally comes with the risk of running into pathless ones and other monsters. Readers of Volume 2 in this Landscapes of Enderal series, which was devoted to the region Goldenforst, will likely remember the path through Wellwatch Valley, connecting Goldenforst to the Powder Desert. This route requires crossing the Icy King's Mountain Pass as well as the southern half of Goldenforst and is not recommended. For a more detailed discussion about this road and its history, the reader is referred to the aforementioned tome. Upon reaching the Powder Desert, you will soon be confronted with the multitude of trails leading through the region, many of which are not easily discernible to the inexperienced eye. Although the desert is known for its near-constant blue-skied weather, frequent sand winds add additional challenge to navigating the area. This guide will therefore refrain from attempting to offer specific directions and instead advises to look for signposts to aid in reaching your destination. Alternatively, one can try to find a caravan willing to take on a fellow wanderer, as they are bound to know all available routes as well as their potential pitfalls. Should you feel that you have lost your way, do not panic. As long as your endurance suffices, you will come upon one of the desert's many landmarks sooner or later, which should help you determine your position on a map. Remain alert while roaming, however, because the desert is home to many large predators which do not shy away from attacking humans. Bone rippers strike fear even in the hearts of the hardened nomads, with good reason. Those looking to trade or stock up on supplies will have to visit Duneville, a remarkable village by the southern coast and the beating heart of commerce in the Powder Desert. It can be easily reached by Mirrad. The only Mirrad tower in the Powder Desert is conveniently located nearby. When approached above ground, Duneville may look rather unimpressive, but most of the settlement is actually hidden beneath the surface of the infertile desert dunes. To enter, you have to descend into a pit into the sand. Once you do, the reason for this peculiar choice of location will immediately become apparent, for Duneville has not only been built underground to shield it from the harsh environment and perpetual sandstorms that plague this part of the desert. The cave it is located in also houses a large lake, ensuring a constant supply of fresh water in an otherwise very dry area. To make most of its limited space, wooden scaffolds reaching all the way to the cave ceiling have been erected in the lake, providing more room for homes and shops. The scattering of platforms are connected by walkways and ladders. Be mindful when navigating them. It can be a long drop if you have to lose your footing at an inopportune time. if you happen to lose your footing at an inopportune time. Silver Grove, a modest village on the eastern coast, used to be a second spot of civilization in an otherwise desolate area. Yet nowadays, no one dwells there any longer. By all accounts, it has been deserted for years. For those who are nonetheless interested in exploring this part of the coast, it is only accessible via the most northern path in the Powder Desert, the same trail that will take you past the powder mines. The western part of the Powder Desert coast is a true shelter of life, with palm and fruit trees in abundance. The wire plantations here form the main source of food for Doonville. Oranges, dates and coconuts, as well as small quantities of peaceweed, a herb known for its intoxicating effects, are loaded on supply vessels for transport directly after harvest. Some of these shipments go straight to Ark. Tropical fruits are in high demand there. One of the desert's most extraordinary sights are the Moonstone Dunes, where light blue stones glow like stars amidst the sand. From some of the dunes rise eerie pylons, which send mysterious beams of pale blue light into the sky. Though most archaeologists consider these to be Pyrrhian structures, some hypothesize that their construction dates even further back. Regardless, what purpose they served remains unclear. It should warrant no further explanation that one should not attempt to enter these ancient devices under any circumstances. All in all, the Powder Desert may be an attractive destination for well-equipped treasure hunters and adventurers. Less fearsome travellers stand little to gain and much to lose from a trek through this harsh land. The Golden Sickle therefore advises most travellers to limit their visit to Doonville.